Hello, how you guys? Citizen AY here. Um, you can hear I still have that thing on my throat. I've still got it. You get after a while, you get fed up with just being in the house and being, I'm still under quarantine, as you can all imagine, with everything going on. So we're just gonna play by ear. Hi, how you all doing? Hi, Deborah, how you doing? How are you doing in Italy, my brother? Yes, just take it easy. It seems as though everything is on lockdown. Um, it seems as though the government in the UK are now listening to following what is happening in Italy. Commiserations to to you all over there for the amount of death going on. I mean, the death rate now in Italy is now over 2,000. I mean, there is a website that talks about this coronavirus thing. It's impacted everything. It's impacted everything. Let me just give you the latest updates that we have in terms of figures. I'll mention a few countries. It's now, I mean, first of all, wash your hands, have tissue, have sanitizer to hand. Let me see if I got mine. Have sanitizer to hand. Keep keep away from people if you're unwell like I am. Oh, brilliant, Deborah, brilliant to hear. Yeah, just keep it's just keep an eye out. And I want to say there is a guy that I know of that passed away in I can't remember the name of the place now, Mapona or something like that. He passed away recently. I may soul rest in peace. He was a man, a 63-year-old man. Yeah, it will shut down for the whole year. Yes, it will do. So like I said, sanitizer, tissue, drink, I'm been stocking those, and I wanted to just change. I needed to stop for a little bit. I'm still quarantined as far as I'm keeping away from everybody because it's best to do that because you just never know. And the reason why we're keeping away from anybody, if you have adults, if you have elderly people who are in their late 60s, 70s, we have to be very, very aware of our interactions with them. I mean, I'm no expert. I'm just following what they're saying what the government is saying. And like I said, I want to mention there is a guy that I wanted to mention. I'm going to read to you his story briefly so that we all know that this does happen to us as well. But, we don't know the underlying conditions that he faced. There is a late Dr. Olumide Okunuga. He died of the coronavirus in Italy. And is from Emilia Romagna region. So he was 64-year-old Dr. Okunuga Olumide. He passed away. His daughter and I think his wife had to identify him. So forgive me, please. I'm keeping myself warm because it's very cold, but I'm really, really. When you're trying to just stay in one place and you sit down. I just wanted to just come out and interact with people, not just be stuck on my own, So, but anyway, let me just quickly read this to you. A 64-year-old Nigerian late Dr. Okunuga Olumide Saraju has been found dead in his home in Modena, Italy, where he lived alone. Okunuga, a native of Ikenne in Ogun State, and the president of Egbe Omo Yoruba in Emilia-Romagna region, was found dead at 11 a.m. on Tuesday last week at his home. There are suspicions that he may have died of coronavirus infection, a disease that has ravaged Italy in the past few weeks. So he was 64. I suspect he had some underlying conditions. That's his picture there. May his soul rest in peace. May his soul rest in peace. And what is particularly poignant in this is that he's part of our struggle for Oduduwa Republic as well, because he headed the He had a group. He was the president of the Egbe Omo Odudua. Let me just see if I can get that. Yeah, Egbe Omo Yoruba in Emilia-Romagna region. So he was the president of that group. So we want to just really say, may his soul rest in peace. Commiserations to his family. His wife had to identify him. Unfortunately, he was not. He was cremated immediately. So there is no opportunity of him having to have a final resting place in Nigeria, which I'm not in Nigeria, in Oduduwa Republic for me, in Oduduwa Republic. There is no opportunity for him because from what I'm reading, he had to be his remains was cremated immediately as the authorities could not release his body. So the Yoruba community in that area in Italy is totally devastated, and as are we. We are all in this struggle together. He was a great man. He was a great doctor by all accounts. He's very, very well liked and respected in Italy, and he frequented back and forth between Nigeria and Italy. So we say, may his soul rest in peace. Commiserations to his family. Things do happen, and we have to be very aware. I state that I raised that issue because I wanted people to not be complacent. Sometimes people can be, Deba is calling me. Let me just see if I can actually put him on. Hi Deba, how you doing? Hello my brother. Hello, you good? Good afternoon, my brother. So Deba is joining me. Hello. Yeah, how's it going?
I'm okay.
Good.
I just saw the post you are talking about.
Yes.
About the man the Nigerian man. I'm not aware of that. And where I live is about 60 kilometers away from Modena.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a post online. There's a post on Facebook about him by the group. So it's actually happened. And his wife is apparently his ex-wife is Italian, and his daughter is she's also a well-known doctor. I think from that area.
I think I've met him.
Why, goodness me! You've met him?
We were holding, Nigerians in diaspora meeting.
Wow.
Nigerians in diaspora in Emilia-Romagna. I met him before, but I'm not aware of that. I will call one of that person.
Yeah, please do.
To confirm this. And besides, I have not heard the news does not never said so. Well,
no,
I will find out.
Yeah, but I mean, I've confirmed it via his website. It's his YouTube and a Facebook page.
There are a lot of rumors online. So
no.
I don't normally accept the one the government is releasing.
But this one is on his YouTube on Facebook page, because I checked, and there's a group that has actually confirmed it. So it wasn't I checked before I went and said anything about it. But please do, by all means, confirm it.
I will.
By all means. But like I said, I mean, the most.
A lot of Yorubas around me.
Yes.
A lot of Oduduwa people around me.
Yeah.
And I will call them if they are aware.
Yeah, please do. Because it's we all need to be aware. I mean, as we all know now, everything is being locked down.
There has been a lot of complaints from these Italians. Why is it that only them are those that are dying, carrying the virus and whatever? They've been talking. Many of them have been talking.
Yeah.
This one is strange now that the Nigerian man.
Yeah, but the problem is we don't know if he had underlying conditions. We don't know. So, and that's the thing. Like I said, I mean, for all we know, I mean, it's hard, unless we have the absolute fact, we cannot say. But that's the information that's been out there. So, and obviously, because we guys are not able to move around in Italy, what tends to happen is.
But that notwithstanding. I will call my friend, though he's a Ghanaian, but he's very
Yeah, he will know.
the issues going
Yeah.
on. He lives in Modena.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know, he married a Nigerian, that my friend.
Okay.
So he will be able to give me the real fact.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, please do let us know. Like I said, so how is Italy right now? How is Italy?
Everywhere is at a standstill.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole environment is silent. Everybody has been advised to be indoor.
Yeah.
Or you have no business going on.
That's it.
And again, you use your sanitizer, your soap and water often.
That's it.
Then at least maintain a distance.
That's it.
Wear your facial mask.
Yeah, I saw.
And always avoid staying in crowd. If you are going to the only places that are functional now, as it is the banks and some few supermarkets. They are not regular functional, but at least to avert some disasters of no cash, no food, nowhere to buy things.
Yeah.
So these are the only places we are seeing that are functional.
Yeah.
And if you are entering the bank, it should be one after the other.
Yeah.
One goes in.
Indeed. Whoa. Okay, call back if you can. So yeah, so but yeah, so like I said, that was Deba. So like I said, we do give commiserations, I mean, you know, condolences to the family of Dr. Olumide Okunuga. And if we get more information, we will let you know. I will find out. Now, one of the reasons why I'm talking this morning is I want us to look at something. As we speak now, France, Germany, US, in fact, many of the countries, the Western countries that have had to be locked down in terms of this coronavirus, what are they? They are doing something. They are doing something to help their people. And what they are doing is that all businesses, France, for example, they said no business. France has decided to underwrite every business in France so that they don't go under. And that means that the government will provide funds to make sure that those companies don't go under. As we speak, the United Kingdom airports, all of the airlines and the airplane businesses, they've written to the government and said, look, we need assistance now or we're going to shut down completely and we will not be, without be thousands of jobs. 4 o'clock today, the chancellor will be having an announcement to ensure that businesses in the UK are fully funded, supported through this crisis that we're in. In US, Bishop Romney, Senator Romney, I think it was, came up with an idea that it proposes that each citizen should be looking at providing $1,000 for each citizen a month because of this crisis. I mention all of this because you all saw what happened with the Abuleadu explosion, where Buhari could not take the time to go and visit. It's only 45 minutes away by plane from Abuja, I believe, if I'm correct, and maybe even an hour. Even if it's an hour, let's say it's an hour and a half, to go as a president, so-called president. This is why we are comfortable in saying we want to have Oduduwa Republic. This is why. Exactly. Anyone under the coronavirus are seeking 50 billion. I will soon approve it soon. There you go. So this is why we're saying, this is why we're demanding for. That's why I am in support of IPOB. I'm in support of it. You know, and I'm in demanding that we in the Southwest continue to speak up for Oduduwa Republic. And how we go about it is to put pressure on our senators, House of Reps, House of Assembly, to put in the Constitution of Nigeria, in that contraption, the referendum now. We need it. This is not a shout anymore. This, by all accounts, the Abuleado explosion wasn't just an explosion. There are indications that there might have been a bomb or something, or rocket, we don't quite know, that's been put in place in that caused that devastation. Now, what is shocking in all of this for me? That's so I mentioned that now. Contrast what is happening across Europe. Europe first, they close all the borders. They are making sure everybody is isolated. They are now making sure that they put funding behind every business. This is what is happening in Europe. They are putting funding behind each and every business. In France, they are making sure that the government will carry the cost for however long. France has said however long this coronavirus lasts, whereby they can't move, no business will be closed, the government will carry the costs. UK are looking to do the same thing across industries. For example, your restaurants, the restaurant business, airline business, all transport business, all manner. You know, this is what they are doing in Europe. They're not busy, they're not trying to go to church. They've told us in Europe, no church going. Don't congregate in large numbers, because they want to be able to isolate this disease, this virus, and kill it. But in Nigeria, as we're speaking, they are meeting in large numbers. They are encouraging people to congregate. The government is not having a plan in place. What I even suggest now, this is the point now. As we speak now, the government, nobody in Europe can buy oil or buy any of those stuff that is from Africa. I don't think, how can they buy anything? Because nothing is moving. The airlines are not moving. I'm sure probably the same thing. You've seen what's happened to the cruises. If the cruises are not moving, tell me, I bet there are tankers stuck at sea right now, full of Nigerian oil, not being sold anywhere. So to enrich these crooks. The reason I'm asking this, the reason I'm saying this is because you can see that the people in Europe, whether you disagree with the fact that they've colonized Africa, whether you agree, whether you're upset or angry, put that aside. Look at what they are doing for their own people right now. Look at what they're doing. They are making sure that their people will be protected from death, from loss of income. They are even paying. The government of UK has said that anybody that cannot go to work can claim statutory sick pay. So what is Nigerian government doing? What is that contraption doing for you as a citizen? What are they doing? Have they put power? What have they put? The government, it is time that we, the people, now demand, now that we've seen what Europe is doing in this crisis, what US is doing in this crisis, now that we've seen all of that, I think it's time for us to now make this government, to now put pressure on them in our localities and say, our priority is power. Anybody, House of Assembly, councillor, chairman, whatever you call them, any of you guys, in our communities, we need to demand emergency that we fix our power. That those empowered, they have no excuse now. They have to fix our electricity. So we need to do that in our regions. I'm talking about the South. I'm talking about Southwest. I'm talking about Southeast. I'm talking about Middle Belt. But for my own, I'm sure you can all fully understand my own passion for Oduduwa. So for the Southwest people, what we need to be doing is to formulate plans. And it is not difficult to do this. It is not difficult to do what I'm saying here. very shortly, you know what's going to happen? You better start doing that now, because you know why? Many of us who are sending money home, we may not be able to send that money home. Because if you're not earning, where are you going to send the money? And whatever they're giving you in terms of pay, it might not be enough. Because you're trying to keep you have to pay bills here as well. And even if they freeze the bills, just the cost of buying food and everything will go up. So we encourage the people who are in the Southwest. Now is the time to make sure the most important priority right now, aside from coronavirus, compel every senator, House of Assembly, chairman, councillor, House of Senator, House of Reps, force them in your locality to make sure that they begin to fix your electricity. You demand 24/7 electricity. They mustn't come and tell you to go to church if they haven't fixed your electricity. They mustn't come and tell you to go to the mosque if they haven't fixed your electricity. That is you need to start telling them, before you start telling me let's pray, you need to fix my electricity. Because that is something that is without 24/7 electricity, you cannot have an economy. And the government, the governors, it is time we now start putting pressure on the governors as well to begin to make sure that in each of our areas in the Southwest, in the states, they start putting in place electricity that is putting in a functioning electricity grid, be a combination of solar and renewables and the current ones that they're using, to make sure that we have 24/7 electricity. What that does with electricity, it would also help Amotekun. Because when you have electricity, you can see at night. You can know where things are. You can put light in certain areas. You can shine light in the forest to chase out the killers. So this electricity is important. And I say this because in the face of what they are facing, let me read to you what Macron said. Macron, he said something about trillions of French francs to be made available to the French in the crisis of this coronavirus, because they don't want their airlines to close. They don't want their restaurants to close. They don't want the flower business to close. They want to keep the people in employment. And they are telling people, encouraging their people to buy their own products. They even, you know what they've even done? In the UK here, I've started hearing now, and in France, those perfume companies who are making perfumes, you know what they're doing now? Do you know what they're doing now? They're making sanitizers. They are making sanitizers. They've told them now, because right now when you go, you can't go out. So people are not going to drink. But what people can use is, we need sanitizers every day. So those who have got the stocks for making beer and spirits, they are making this. That is a functioning government. That is a function. That is why I am saying Nigeria is dead. Let's forget Nigeria. I am standing on Oduduwa. I stand. I don't say that out of hatred or it's dead. Just now, they were having a meeting in the Senate, and all they are doing is, oh yes, you see, we've done this before. We will complain again, and somebody should be arrested. The first thing is, as soon as that happened, there should be a system in place to identify what was damaged, what area it was, who is responsible, everything, and make sure that people are held accountable immediately. That's why I'm saying that contraption has failed. Let's forget trying to resurrect that. It's a contraption. We need to focus our efforts in the Southwest on Oduduwa Republic and begin empowering our people on the ground. That is our focus. Because like I said, France now is going to pump money, cash, into the economy. French francs. The government says, no, we are not going to allow anybody. No business to fold in France. We will cover it. The healthcare costs, the business costs, any cost that comes, they will fund it. They will cover it. The government will cover it. Now, France hasn't got any resources. They haven't. They haven't. France relies on $500 billion a year coming from 14 African countries. And it's still happening. And from that money, they use to keep the people up. In Africa, in Nigeria, in that contraption, we have resources. Now we need to start diversifying away from oil. We have bitumen, we have potassium, we have ore, iron, you name it. We have the resources. What we need to be doing in Nigeria, our first priority, to be able to access those resources and use it wisely, we need, not in Nigeria, in Oduduwa Republic, Southwest, what we need is power. So IPOP people, the Igbos, please, your focus is on, you need to be talking about how the governors are going to be compelled to make sure that they make power their priority. Us in the Southwest, the Oduduwa people, we make sure we put pressure on all our governors that you cannot have a state, you cannot run a state without electricity. Electricity is the engine room for any economy. To be able to cope with anything. In the UK, for example, they are asking for ventilators. They are asking for businesses to start making ventilators, because when the number of people that start falling ill starts rising exponentially, they are going to need ventilators. They will need ventilators. So they are asking companies, car companies, whatever you produce, they're to diversify and start making ventilators to help the economy. Do you know why they can do that? Because they have electricity. Electricity is already the core of the economy. It's the engine room. So that when they ask companies, okay, fine, diversify, get access to resources wherever you can get it, and start making this to help us in the short to medium to long term, as long as we have this crisis, we can now assist the economy out of the current crisis. But in Nigeria, let's say, thankfully for us, coronavirus is not spreading as much in Nigeria yet. But what if it does? Do we have to go? In Europe right now, they are not selling masks. The masks they use for covering the faces, they are not selling all this equipment that they will use for protecting themselves in the corona. They are keeping it for Europe. Can we produce our own? Do we have the capacity to produce it? The only way we can have that constant capacity is if we have a 24/7 electricity. That is the only way we can do this. So I am mindful when I see that France, let me see if I can read that to you. Because when I saw, today, this afternoon, in the UK parliament, you will hear, I will see if I can come back on, or I'll try and share the video somehow. You will hear Suka or something, Sunak, I think it is Sunak. You will hear him make plans to ensure that the industries, the various industries, the airline, the transport, the restaurant and catering industries, that they remain afloat in this country. And the government will fund it. The government will subsidize. Now, what is government? The Nigerian government is subsidizing Boko Haram instead of subsidizing the citizens. This is why it's no contest. No contest. We need to be pushing for in our communities. Referendum now. Putting in, starting with our local councillors, our local chairmen, our House of Assembly, our House of Reps, our governors, all the politicians in the Southwest. We demand for referendum. Yes, it is a British. Yes, it must be destroyed. So it is a British company, and as even like I said, Britain now is focused on ensuring the safety and protection of its people, using the resources at its fingertips, available to it. We have the resources now. How many? Have you noticed something? They've closed all the borders in Europe. South Africa has banned traveling from Europe to South Africa. They banned it. They don't want it. So including UK, Italy, all of those places, even US, they banned it because of this coronavirus. But in Nigeria, would you believe that the Nigerian government, as I speak to you, say they have no plans to ban flights from the UK? When the UK have the airports, hardly any plane is going to leave except for essential planes to leave UK. The airlines are putting 90% of their staff in the UK on leave because there's no business because of this coronavirus. And yet, let me read to you something so that you don't think I'm just saying this. That's why I'm saying to us, let's focus on Oduduwa Republic. Yes, personal protective equipment. So, let me read to you what a minister for health said. Let me read it so that nobody will say I'm over egging it, or I'm exaggerating. Let me read to you what they said. The minister said, here we go. So, no stopping Chinese, Italians, others from visiting Nigeria. Federal government, 17th of March. Festus Abu. Sorry, let me just see. Hang on. Let me just see. The federal government has no plans to impose travel restrictions on visitors from countries where coronavirus continues to spread rapidly. However, Nigerian government has decided to screen visitors entering country from China, where the disease originated late last year, Japan, Iran, Italy, Germany, France, South Korea, and Spain. What about the UK? In the UK, the number of people that have died from coronavirus has gone over 50. It's 55. So this government is telling us that they can... So somebody will fly in from the UK today, and this government will check them. In the UK, they are already telling us to not travel out, to keep ourselves away from each other, to keep away from each other if you have a cold. Like I have a cold now. I don't go out unless I absolutely have to go. And when I go, I keep away from people. And yet this federal government of that contraption is telling you that they will still continue to accept people after they monitor them. Once you... How do you know? How do you know that they have not carried that disease? And do you know the level that they're in? Isn't it better to just ban all traveling into the country from all these countries, including the UK? This is why I'm saying we have poor government. And like I said, the government don't consider the lives of the people to be worth anything. That is why we, Oduduwa people, was make sure when we create Oduduwa Republic, we have to empower our people. They have to know their rights. They have to know that they can hold those who are they elect into office to account. For example, I'll give you another example. This man, Sanwo-Olu, has stated that the government, the state government will provide they provided 250 million naira a relief fund which they want others to contribute to and donate to. He provided 3 bank accounts. Great. Except for one thing. Let me show you a video. Not a video. Let me show you a picture. Because sometimes if we're talking, it's like, but if I can find that picture. Okay, let me just see. Let me see if I can I'll show you a picture. Let me see. Let me just show. Yeah, here we go. That's it. I'll show you a picture. Let me show you a picture. What we can do, my brother, is what I'm saying now. On ground, we need people to start working in our communities together. In our community, in any community in Southwest, we want people to start working together, to start holding those they elect into office to account, to start having town hall meetings in every local council, in every local area. That is the best thing we can do. What they did in Shagamu, where Governor Abiodun had to come out to apologize and to commiserate and to condole with the family of Tiamiu Kasim, where they had to come and, condole with his family. That's what we need our people to be doing, to begin to come together. Because you see, those of us in diaspora, all we can do now is to provide this information and the knowledge and the pathway. Because we need to empower our people from the grassroots. We must empower our people from the grassroots. Sending money to them will only go so far, but them taking action. But it wasn't a bad. But look, it was already coming. Ambitious Israel Fred. This was always going to be the case. So that's why I'm going back. I keep saying, the change we need is going to start from our local areas. We will need people to begin. Please, the churches and the mosques are not the solution. They are the problem. I saw a picture. I will come back. Remind me of this. I'll come back. I saw a picture today. And it said here, wanted prayer warriors in the church. And they will pay them 30,000 naira. Salary above 30,000 naira. You have to call an prayer warriors. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Prayer warriors in this time. That is another way to continue enslaving the minds. What we need are people, instead of prayer warriors, to fill churches that are not going to provide you and your family the power, the knowledge to be able to hold those you elect into the office to account. You need to start in your local areas. Forget the churches, forget the mosques. They are there to enslave your mind, so that you never wake up. So that's where I believe we need to start. It's not going to be easy, but this kind of videos, take sections of this video and tell the people that let them know that they have the right to hold their governance to account as laid down in our constitution. That constitution is flawed, don't get me wrong. Exactly. It will not even pay the money at the end, even anyone applies for survivor. Exactly. So it's a way to enslave us. So, like I said, now, and let me go back to the point I was trying to make earlier on, because I just saw what you were reading. I want to show you something. Right. Like I said, Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, said now that they've provided 250 million naira as part of the relief fund to assist in the damage that's been done by, it's a bomb, to be honest. Let's be frank. That was a bomb. This was the way, if you look at the site, over 50 homes destroyed. That was a bomb. There wasn't, and apparently from what we are hearing, it wasn't any pipeline. But anyway, the state government, Sanwo-Olu, is providing 250 million naira. Now I want you to see this picture. Look at this picture. Let me I'll see if I can get this one to you. Look at that picture. So during the elections, the fraudulent elections, that Tinubu, with his bullion van at the front of his house, bullion van, you're talking of millions upon millions upon millions of dollars and naira, God knows what else, was able to, when for the elections, got the money, Tinubu. But the people of Lagos that Tinubu likes to be saying, I'm the king of, they've been befallen by this. Abuleado has been bombed, and Tinubu cannot find from the money. He can provide money. Just see, he can provide money. He can provide money for fighting an election that he wants you to vote for him. But the people have died. The soul of the woman, the leader of that school that rescued us all the children and died. May her soul rest in peace. I've forgotten her name. But they can't find. But they can find money for that election. Shouldn't Tinubu, if he was truly a man of the people, he should have been the first one there with Governor Sanwo-Olu, saying whatever funds needed, I will provide now, right now. After all, it's a public money. This is this Tinubu that was taken in February 2019. The bullion van, you can see the bullion van there, was in front of Tinubu's house. And they were handing out money to force people to vote for APC so that making sure that Sanwo-Olu was elected. So they can use money for that, but they can only take 250 million naira and say we put aside. How much is the cost? The cost, that damage, the people didn't do it. The state should cover it. Look at what is happening with the coronavirus. Is what I'm saying to you. Coronavirus, every Western government is providing funds. France, UK, America, Germany, they are providing funds to make sure that the people are not left out of pocket. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're making funds available. And yet, Tinubu can make funds available for an election, a rigged election, but he cannot find money for the Abule Ado people to cover all of the devastation. And we say we have governance. We haven't. Yes, fine. Yes, you can say Sanwo-Olu provided 250 million naira and is going to try and provide other funds. I encourage others to donate. These people, this is the money. Who gave this guy the right to walk around? Who gave this guy the right to walk around to go and have a bullion van deliver money to his house and nobody arrests him? These are one of the things that we will have to address when Oduduwa Republic becomes a reality. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, whilst we can only, and it makes it, it's obvious that Sanwo-Olu is an errand boy. Sanwo-Olu is an errand boy to Tinubu. That's all it is. He's an errand boy. He has no power. He's been put in there because and Tinubu is there to make sure that all of his alpha beta business interests are protected. That's all there is. The governor is not there to govern the people. It's to ensure that Tinubu never faces any charges. Never in Lagos State. Never. 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 And what is worse is what's going to happen is, if we're not careful, even when he's gone, the system of governance that is put in place, his family, the funds, all of that will be protected forever unless we speak up. So like I said, Abule Ado people have faced a huge, massive devastation. Let me see if I can find that picture of what the devastation. I mean, you've all seen it. Let me see if I can find that one. 1 second. I'm trying to find the Abule Ado pictures. I have it on my page. But you've seen the videos. In fact, I'm going to go into it. You've seen the videos. And when you see the video and you see the devastation that the people have faced, 1 second, please. You now and then this guy will say, "Oh, I'm providing here with the state that provided 250 million naira." What is that in the scheme of things? Do you know how many homes were destroyed? How many businesses were destroyed? And you're saying you're coming and providing 250 million naira. But when it comes for the voting, no amount enough, because you want to get the people to vote. You take the people's money, force them to vote for you. This is why we're saying we need to have a Oduduwa Republic. But we need to empower our people from the local level, from the grassroots. We have to empower our people. If Europe, all governments in Europe are funding businesses, they are telling businesses to be able to continue to run businesses. Okay, forget making cars. We want you to make ventilators. Okay, you make beer. Forget making cars. Making beer. Make ventilator and make sanitizers. These are the kind of thinking. What is our government doing to keep our people safe? To keep our people in employment? The government, our government, this failed governance, they are all engaged in blaming the citizens that they're meant to serve and protect. Whereas in Europe, they are doing everything they can to protect the citizens, to make sure their lives can carry on, to make sure that their business doesn't fold. This is why we are saying, I hail IPOB, I hail Nnamdi Kanu, I hail IPOB, you know, and I'm saying that those of us in the Southwest, we must begin to empower people from the grassroots. Very much like Showore is saying. He's asking and encouraging people to stand up for their rights, to hold those, whoever you elect into office, to account. I'll show you the picture again. I'll show you the picture again. You know, Tinubu cannot stand there and be quiet. And then he says he wants to run for 2023. Please remember that. He wants to run for 2023 for Nigeria. I doubt that we will have Nigeria in come 2023. I doubt it. That is Tinubu. Now let me show you the video of the devastation that was happening in Abuleado. Let me show you the devastation to show you how callous these people are, to show you that we don't have governance. I just want to say that so that we are fully aware. Let me see if I can show you. There's one picture. That's Abuleado. That's one picture. Can you see that? So just in that property alone, I doubt that 250,000 would even cover the cost. 50 million will cover that cost. Just in that area alone. But yet, when they want to do an election and take public money, stolen public money, and brazenly hand it out for those who they want to vote, this is what they do. But when we are faced with destruction of over 50 homes, thank you very much, Oyewole Ronnery additional, over 50 homes destroyed, then they start coming with excuses. Oh, you have to provide money. Yeah. Going forward in Oduduwa Republic, when we comes up, one of the things that we will do is to make sure that from the get-go, the people's voice will matter. Every person will have the right to hold those they elect into office to account. That must be the bedrock of the new Oduduwa Republic. That must be the bedrock. The foundation, such that those who we elect will know from the get-go, if they don't comply with the rules, they will be held to account, and there will be no get out of jail. Those, by now, if this government was functioning, by now, There should be people arrested for what happened in Abuleado. There should be people who are responsible for that area, who will be told to come and explain how come that deficiency happened. There should be somebody if they said it was a pipeline. And in the UK, within 24 hours, if an explosion happens, they normally find out what's the root cause. They find it out. But as we speak, they don't know. They don't know. Because there's no one being held accountable. That will change when we have Oduduwa Republic. Because each and every one of us, from among all of us, knowing our rights, knowing that we have responsibilities to the community, responsibilities to the community. Now, once we now step up and say, I help run our community, we will also be held accountable. We must be. You have to be held accountable, because the minute you are not, then you're not running the economy, the community for the people. You're running it for your pocket, which is what's happening right now. And that's what's got to change. So those who are saying we want to be one Nigeria, I don't want to be one Nigeria. Because as we're speaking, the federal government is still trying to pass a law. There's no efficiency, exactly. They've passed a law. They're trying to pass a law to make sure that we now fund the rehabilitation of those who are killing Nigerians at the expense of Nigerians. So if you say you want to be part of that, that means that you want this to continue. You want the killings to continue. Anybody right thinking you cannot accept it. Good afternoon, Gertley, Dennis, and my sister. Good afternoon to you. So I wanted to just state this. There's a lot more. I am getting a bit tired. I can feel the thing. I'm trying to keep warm at the same time. But I wanted to just state this, that in Europe, the economy is about protecting the citizens, protecting the people, and making sure that they keep the economy going. And what they're doing now, they're encouraging people to buy their own products that they make, because they want to generate their economy. But in Nigeria, we continue to import toothpick. We will import all manner of ceramics, which we have in our own land. We will import whatever. We will import slates that we have in our own land. We will import everything. We will import fertilizers, when we should be encouraging export of what we produce to generate hard-earned foreign currency. This is what is doing us. This is why we cannot be, this is a guy that was he was in a hotel, and he was blown. It showed his injury. Let me show you. Let me see. Let me show you. I'll show you. There you go. Normally pack it when we come late. It was touching. Hang on. Here we go. That's the injury. That's the injury from the fire, or from the bomb. It's got glass shattered all the way in his back. A bomb. He said it's a bomb. I just rose up, started running. I left everything in the room. Running outside, I saw people coming out from the hotel also. Oh, God of mercy. Even I was able to notice that the crew members of Onijemi that I worked together yesterday with. That was a few days ago now. Same hotel with me. I saw everybody running out, blood on some people, some crying, running. So I'm just showing you little clips of what I've been showing, what's been happening. And moments before the explosion, let me show you another video.
It's actually coming from a chill out. The video.
Let me show you. Look at this. Listen to what she's saying. Listen very carefully. Listen. It's
actually coming from a chill out.
You see, it's coming from a trailer.
The video.
This was moments before the explosion, no? This was moments before the explosion. And she said it's actually coming from a trailer. It's coming from a trailer. Can you see?
It's actually coming from a chill out.
You see?
The video.
You see? That's what she said. You heard? It's actually coming from a trailer at the video arm. So you can see that. So these are the kind of things we need to be asking a question. So that trailer, they must have. This is why we need to have records. That trailer, they must have a plate number. They must have records of what he was doing there. They must have the name of the driver so that they can begin to ask him that question. But those who do this, there's a reason because why that trailer is there. So you can already see it's not the pipeline. It's not the pipeline. A trailer was there, spraying something in the air. Why? Where the health and safety? This is why I'm saying we shouldn't be. I'm not asking for. I'm not calling for one Nigeria. I cannot I cannot call for one Nigeria. With the people, they are sending our people, our youths, our young army men in the south to go and be killed in Sambisa forest and killed in the north. These same people who are in power, these Fulani people who are in power, and you want us to continue to say we are one? We are not one. We're not one. We're not one. The name of the lady that was killed, let me show you her name. In fact, her name is Reverend Sister Henrietta Aloka. Reverend Sister Henrietta Aloka. May her soul rest in peace. That's her picture. She fought to save quite a lot of the children from her school from dying, and she lost her life in the process. So kudos to her. We salute her. She's a heroine. We are truly sad that she lost her life in this unnecessary accident that happened, but she's a hero. But these are the reasons why Buhari doesn't see it fit that where over 50 people have been killed, he doesn't see it fit to come there. But instead, he tells the governor to fly pictures to Abuja so that he can look at the pictures. So what's more important? Seeing the pictures or going there and commiserating with the people of that area to show that in your country, everybody matters? We're not one. In every way, those who are telling you that we want one Nigeria, every step that Buhari takes confirms that we are not one. It confirms it. In the UK here, they are telling us, please, if you are elderly, stay away from people. You know, if you're not well, please keep away because that might affect elderly people. You know, and the government is putting in systems to make sure that they put them as priority. Our government don't do that. They just don't. I don't want to waste my energy fighting for something that is oppressing me. I can't. We mustn't do that. Let's stop this thing of going. Right now in the UK, they don't want people in large numbers because they want to free for everywhere they have large number of people going to churches, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, 500 people. It means that you would have to have an ambulance, an ambulance man or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the number, depending on what they have in place, to be able to manage something happens in that area. So what they've done is, we don't want anybody. We encourage you guys not to do that so that we can free them up to tackle the coronavirus. But in Nigeria, do you think they will think about that? Do you think they will think about the impact of having services available? This is why I say that we need to make electricity our priority. And the only way, it's no good leaving this to the House of Assembly, or leaving it to the councillors, or leaving it to your governors. We, the people in our local communities, when we, instead of going to the churches, stop going to the churches, stop going to the mosque. If you cannot have light 24/7 in your community, if you cannot have light in your community 24/7, what use is you going to the church or the mosque? Tell me. Because the reason why you're going to the church and the mosque It's because you are praying that you will get wealthy, you will get better, you will get all of this stuff. That's the reason you're going. It's better you put all that energy together in your local community. Begin to hold those you elect into office to account and say, look, I'm not interested in your prayers. I'm not interested in you being the head of the prayer when we're praying. You are taking the money. The people who you are praying to are taking the money meant for building the electricity from you. And they're telling you to pray at the same time. So you're better off holding them to account. Stop going to the churches. Stop going to the mosque. Start putting your efforts into making sure that within your community, you can say, I'm part of the people that demanded that we hold those we elect into office to account so that we have 24/7 electricity in my community. When you do that, if you want to go to church and say, give thanks, I'll follow you join. Me self, I go follow you join. But if you are going to the church and praying and hoping that the man who is looting from you will stop, he will never stop. He will never stop. He will never stop. I'm about solutions. The Shagamu spirit, we must engage our people. The Shagamu spirit, where the people came together and got their governance to stop, to chase out the SARS. If they can chase out the SARS, we can equally get the governors and the House of Assembly and the councillors to begin to make sure that in all our communities, we have 24/7 electricity. Not generator. No. 24/7 electricity, not generator. You don't need generator because generator is going to give you fumes. This time, you demand that either they put solar power, and a combination of electricity with proper transformer, functioning transformers. Over 50 to 60% of the transformers that they buy in Nigeria are used products. Why do we have to require use products that have been used in foreign countries? Why aren't we making ours? I just told you. In the UK now and in France, they are telling companies who are used to making beer and everything else, start making sanitizers. Start making ventilators. That is diversification to be able to cope with the needs of the nation. Where is that going to happen? Do you think you can get any of that happening if you're going to church? Would that happen if you're going to church or to the mosque? It won't happen. And like I said, the next few months is going to be very dicey. I don't know if those of us in diaspora can continue to send money home. Because the system is under severe pressure here. There's no guarantees about whether or not you'll get money back home or not. Because they're trying to make sure that they have all the funds, all their effort is to save lives. Whereas, can you see, in that contraption, all the efforts of the government is to take life. All the effort of the government is focused on taking lives. Every day, thousands of lives are lost. There's no record of people that are killed. So we need to be, this is why I'm telling you, if you believe that, as long as I'm okay, if you think one person can do this alone, it's a lie. All of us must join hand do it. And we need to do it community by community, locality by locality, one by one, we join together. Instead of going to the church and filling the church and paying money that you don't have to feed your family, put the money together in your community and say, right, we need electricity. Councillor, House of Assembly, all of you guys, we are not stopping until you fix our light. We want 24/7 and we don't want generator. You start working together. It is about working together. This country, all these countries now, they are working together. Look, the FTSE index crashed by as much as 12%, if I remember, and the US and the Dow Jones. And what they are doing is they're working together, pumping money in collectively to make sure it remains afloat, because it's in their collective interest. So why are we doing this stuff? Oh, just go and pray. Praying collectively doesn't solve your problem. It doesn't. But taking action collectively by holding the government to account. Our priority now must be, we need electricity.
in all our communities. And we have to do it community by community, community by community, community by community. Every councillor must be compelled by the community, come to a meeting. Every chairman, those chairman, hey chairman, sit down. Here our list of demands. We demand electricity in our area. If you don't sort that as your main priority, we don't see you as anybody to respect. You are not working for us. Start working together. Get a group of people together and start discussing, young and old. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. I don't want, for me, I want Oduduwa. But we need to start with the local empowerment of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to, I need to just state that. Like I said, in the UK now, let me see if I can find that thing. Macron promises to I'm just want to read something to you. Let me see if I can. I want to read something to you about Macron. Yeah. There we go. So, Macron unveils a $50 billion coronavirus measures. Listen, there. See? That's in France. That's a government. You might, I disagree with the means in which Africa is being used to and exploited to provide for its people. But that's a government. $50 billion. Now let me go into that detail. So Macron told the French people that they are only allowed outside of their houses for essential trips, such as to buy food and medicine for a period of 2 weeks. Our finance minister said he's expecting the French economy to contract by 1%. The 27 heads of states of Europe are speaking at 5 p.m. Brussels time. You see, they're working together. They're working together. France will spend 45 billion euros, $50 billion. It said, let me see now. They're going to mobilize all forces. So airlines are not taking off. Restaurants, coffee shops, reduce hours, because of the lockdown. And he said here, finance ministers of the euro area, whatever it takes, 19 member regions where the countries share the euro said that together the coronavirus related measures amount to 1% of the gross domestic product. That the public guarantee schemes and deferred tax payments could reach 10% euro of the area GDP. So what I'm saying is they are working together. Can you see that? They are working together in the face of this coronavirus. They're not there's not once, from what I'm reading to you, have you had them going to church. Indeed, I will show you a picture to make sure that we need to be looking at the whole thing completely. There's a picture that I took, that I saw, and I said I would share it. And let me see if I can bring it. I hope it comes up. One second. Where is it? Unfortunately, it's not there. I thought I had it. The Vatican is empty. The Vatican that people go to every Sunday is empty. And I wanted to, it's a shame I didn't see. I thought I had that picture. Let me just see. 1 second. I want to just show you that picture. If I can, I might be able to find it still. I'm not sure. Can't guarantee it. But the Vatican, as we speak, in fact, you know what? I'm going to do something now. Let me just go here, Vatican Live. So I'm going to just go Vatican Live. So this church mentality that we have, this prayer mentality that we have, this mentality of, I'm going to pray. Look, thank you. There we go. Right there. That is the Vatican live right now. Can you see how empty it is? Can you see how empty the Vatican is right now? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, live. Just type Vatican, go on YouTube. It is live. It is empty. And that is the Holy Land, though. The so-called Holy Land. It is empty. What does that tell you? And yet, if you go to Nigerian churches, it's packed. Because they know that this coronavirus, the proximity of each other, what happens? They want to save lives. This is the Vatican. It is empty. Zero. So when I tell you, please forget religion in what we are facing. I know what I'm saying. I'm not the only one saying this. And I'm not saying it as a way to tell you I know it all. I'm telling you that it is blinding us. If we take our minds away from the churches and the mosque and we focus on electricity, just electricity in the southwest, within a few months, those in power will have no choice but to put that electricity in place. Because it's the foundation of any economy. We haven't got an economy. That is why you have pipes. So let's say they say pipes, some of the areas that had the bomb blast. Let's say some of it had to do with the fact that the bombs and the pipe were laid close to the top of the soil. Because they don't care. They don't care about your life. They just want to extract. Again, that contraption called Nigeria is just a place for extraction of resources. It's not about the rights of the citizens. Let me say that again. The contraption called Nigeria is merely a place that is designed for extraction of resources to the exclusion of the people who owns the land. That is you and me. They just want to extract resources. So they don't care how they lay the pipes. It doesn't matter if it's close to the soil, close to the top, so that if somebody touches it, explodes. They don't care. They just want to extract the resources. Look at the way in which the train lines and everything has been drawn up. It's to oppress you, to suppress you, to make you what's the word? To just take resources from your land. The tracks, the rail tracks, everything is designed not to benefit you, the citizens. Don't forget, you were sold as a people, all 7 or 11 million of you back in 1899 for £845,000 by George Goldie. And it's the same people that sold